Hey everyone, welcome to the second part of the Photoshop retouching series. For this part, we're going to be working on retouching the skin. We'll be doing things like removing blemishes, moles, patches of uneven skin tones, hot spots, and etc. This is a multi-part tutorial, so the next part of the skin retouching tutorial, we'll be doing things like skin smoothing and the different methods of how we can achieve smooth skin. So let's get started. As always, duplicate the background layer. That way, we won't be affecting the original image, and we can see our before and after. Also, you want to create a new layer, a new empty layer. Go ahead and select the healing brush tool. Now where it says sample up here, make sure all layers are sampled. The reason we want all layers sampled is because we're working on an empty layer. And when we go to sample and retouch different spots, we want to sample background copy and not just the empty layer. So let's get started. Make sure you zoom in really good. Now, there's different ways you can do this, but the method I do is I always follow the light. See how there's a bright white spot around here? Make it smaller. You don't want the mouse to be any bigger than the actual blemish it is. So I sample right here. Just simply go over it. Now this, it's dark over here, but it's light over here. So what I usually do is I go in the middle. Sometimes I'll sample like over here, sample the other side. That way it blends in really nicely. Depending on the image and how many blemishes the person's face, it could take a while. But this picture doesn't have that many. Sometimes you want to zoom out too so you get an overall picture. Like I said, follow the highlights and the shapes. Now this one, it has a little bit of light here. It's a little bit dark here. So again, what I do is I go on the side, just like right in between the dark and the light. Should smoothen out really well. On this one, if you look, you can see part of it is dark right here, and the rest of it is light. What I usually do is I'll make the cursor a little bit bigger, and just work. See how I do that? I'm going to do it again. Start in the top, move down a little bit, sample it again, move it in the middle, move down a little bit in the dark area, sample the edge. Cleans it up really nicely. Again, it's lighter over here and it's darker over here, so I'll sample right in the middle there. Now you just go ahead and do this all the spots you notice. It's light here, dark over here. Make the mouse cursor a little bit bigger. Sample right over that. Sample it again. Always resample every blemish you touch. Resample it again. Now you don't have to do fine little details like this. Usually when we do the skin smoothing section, that'll usually cover it right up. So right in between there. Now, for this one, for example, you can see she has a wrinkle. What you do with the wrinkles, same thing. Make sure you sample to the side where the wrinkle is. That way, it looks natural. See. Same thing right here. Sample with the wrinkle. That way, it looks as if it wasn't there before. Again, I resize my cursor every time I retouch. You don't want it too big, you don't want it too small. When you have big spots like this, don't just make the cursor like this. You don't want to do that. You're working in sections. So I got this. I'll start at the top here, on the edge, move down a little bit, do it on the edge, down a little bit, do it on the edge. Same thing on the other side. I wish you cleaned it up really good while the skin texture still looks good. Again, you don't have to get every single blemish. You just want to get the big noticeable ones out of the way first. There's a little dent in your nose here. I'm going to do the top part, the bottom part, and then you go over in the middle sometimes. Again, I resample every time. That was a good. I'll leave it. Again, notice the hairs over here, slide it over here, so I'll sample right in between, right up there. Should blend in really well. Now, since she doesn't have an earring, we just go ahead and just patch over that, so it looks natural. See how I did that? Just sampling all the way through. Just clean it up really well. Sometimes I like to flick it on and see if it looks realistic or not. Sometimes you can have a really big blurry spot, but if you flick it on and off, you can actually catch it. Again, here's a wrinkle. Sample right here. Sample it again. Put it up. dark over here, light over here. So just do right in between. Now remember, if somebody has like a giant freckle or mole right here, that's really up to your client, because say, you know, if their family member, for example, they know that they have, let's say, a giant mole right here on the arm. If you just go ahead and remove that and they see the picture, they're gonna be like, oh, well, what happened? You know. So it's always good to leave like big giant bumps or a giant mole or something, so it looks somewhat realistic. And you're not just like touching up the entire picture. Big spot right here. Notice how it's light right here, then it's medium, then it's dark. Same thing. I'll make my mouse a little bit bigger. Sample right here, move it straight up. Go up here, sample, straight down, go here. Just resampling every time. Again, sorry I'm not talking much. It's just this part of the skin retouching is actually the time consuming part. You can always fast forward a little bit if you want, so I don't have to sit here and bore you. It's looking a lot better. Now you notice we have all these red bumps right here, and just like uneven skin. One way you can quickly clean that up is when you use the patch tool. What you do is you just create like a little path around it. And look for a similar area on the arm that doesn't have those red patches. So just, oops, make sure the background layer is copied, because it doesn't sample through the layers, kind of like the healing brush tool. So stay on the background layer, just move it around, say like right here. Now see, you didn't do a good job, so we're going to try it again. Background copy. Try right about there. Looks much better. Again, you can do the same thing. Section right here. Make sure background is selected. That wasn't a good one. Healing brush tool. Just fix up that little spot. Again, this can be very time consuming. It all really depends on the person's skin you're working with. As you could probably tell, I was doing all the healing on the background copy. That's alright. I was happy with those spots anyways. Usually, sometimes I'll do it on the background, but for good practice, it's good to do it on an empty layer. That way, if you, like I said, if you make a mistake, like for example, say I wanted that spot here. If I were to do it on the background, if I were to use the eraser in the background layer, it would erase that spot. See? We don't want that. So if I were to just, oops. If I were to erase it on the new layer, it'd be done. No problem. You notice we got some wrinkles here. The way we can fix that is we can use the spot healing brush tool. Probably learned this from part 1. Same thing here. Just go right over that. Looks good to me. Pretty much we got all the spots we covered. I would do more, but this is for tutorial purposes. So, I guess I'll end it here. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be putting up part 2 soon. Thanks guys. Bye.